Not near the water, not on the shore, but literally built in the ocean. This is a remarkable feat of modern engineering, a testament to human ingenuity.
And here is the unbelievable part. It was already sinking while they were still building it.
Japan did not stop the sinking. It designed an airport that could survive it.
A bustling airport was surrounded by millions of homes, and the noise problem was becoming impossible.
Communities were furious, lawsuits stacked up, and politicians were forced to respond.
Then came the radical idea. If land was the problem, build the airport in the ocean. Two brilliant minds, engineer and architect, dared to push boundaries.
The chosen site was 5 kilometers offshore, sitting in 18 meters of water.
But beneath that water was a seabed made of soft clay and mud, the worst kind of foundation for an airport.
They were not building on rock. They were building above ground that behaved like wet sponge.
10,000 workers, a mix of men and women of various ages, would begin what felt like an attack on the sea itself.
Phase 1 was to build a seawall strong enough to protect a future island from typhoon-force waves. These giant concrete caissons would become the outer shell of the entire project. More than 1,000 sections had to be positioned with extraordinary precision on a muddy seabed.
Getting them perfectly aligned on that soft floor was an engineering nightmare.
Section by section, the seawall expanded like a concrete necklace in the Pacific.
Every joint had to be sealed flawlessly because one serious failure could flood the entire island. Now came the truly insane part. They had to turn that empty basin into solid ground. To fill the island, parts of entire mountains in Japan were demolished and moved to the bay.
The project did not borrow a little dirt. It relocated landscapes.
At peak speed, one barge was unloading material into the bay every 15 minutes.
The island rose layer by layer, with rock, gravel, sand, and compacted clay stacked into a future runway platform. The surface had to be almost perfectly level, because even tiny errors would be disastrous for aircraft. And just as the island began to look real, the real nightmare finally arrived. The landfill was so heavy that it began squeezing water out of the soft clay beneath it.
In the end, the island would sink by more than 11 meters, far beyond early expectations.
The challenge escalated. How do you design a structure that adapts to changing circumstances?
The answer was brilliant. Every major column would be built with hydraulic jacking capability.
If one part of the building sank more than another, engineers could literally raise it back into position.
Because the formation settled unevenly, the structure had to become adaptable. They even overfilled the area to prepare for potential future changes that had not occurred yet. A team of innovators designed a revolutionary airport that could adapt to changing environments. With the crisis managed, work could finally begin on the actual airport surface. Every section had to be compacted to aircraft-grade density and tested again and again.
Before the runway, a city-sized drainage system had to go in to protect the island from flooding.
But even with the runway complete, one giant question remained. How do people actually get to this airport?
The answer was Skygate Bridge, a massive link carrying both road and rail across the water.
More than 200 bridge piles had to be driven into that same difficult seabed.
Huge deck sections were built onshore first, then floated into place on barges.
Each section weighed around 200 tons and had to land with extraordinary precision.
Both ends of the bridge were built at the same time, moving toward a perfect meeting point in the bay.
As the first test traffic crossed, a groundbreaking connection was made. Its roof was not only beautiful, it was shaped to guide typhoon winds around the structure. Those adjustable columns beneath the terminal turned the building into a machine for staying level. A complex system of machinery hums beneath this structure.
The structural steel alone weighed more than 70,000 tons.
And because of the curved design, every major roof section had to be custom made.
More than 82,000 stainless steel panels formed the final roof surface.
Inside, the terminal was designed to feel like a canyon, with sunlight moving through it like a sundial.
The structure's unique glass design features hundreds of panels in varying dimensions.
The baggage network alone took 18 months to install and stretched for 70 kilometers underground.
42 boarding gates were built so passengers could move efficiently without constant stairs and elevators.
The control tower had to command a clear view across the full length of the island's runway system.
More than 10,000 runway lights were individually tested before full night operations. Beneath the apron, an underground fuel farm stored millions of liters to keep the airport running.
A large airfield could handle dozens of aircraft at the same time, showcasing efficient logistics and seamless operations. Because the island had no shelter, the terminal was tested against some of Japan's worst typhoon conditions.
A complex systems design allowed it to adapt to extreme forces.
Then in 2018, Typhoon Jebi arrived and gave Kansai its most brutal real-world test. A tanker broke free in the storm and crashed directly into the bridge, cutting the island off from the mainland.
Thousands of people were stranded and had to be evacuated by boat and helicopter over 2 days.
And yet the terminal itself survived intact, exactly as its designers had intended.
Traffic grew so fast that a new island and runway were built, along with a modern terminal.
After 7 years of construction, Kansai International Airport finally opened, and the first arriving flight was greeted like history in motion.
From empty ocean to a living airport that still corrects itself today, Kansai proved that nature gives us limits, but engineering gives us runways.